Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Vault Studio NFL Podcast Super Bowl recap. I'm JA, and I'm joined by a couple of legends, the big spat copter himself on the left of the couch for you guys, and Quadzilla, the Seahawks native. No, you're not a native. You're not from Seattle. You're just a fan. Just a fan. Big fan. You must have feeling pretty good, Scotty.
No, it's pretty accurate from what I was saying.
Oh, I more meant that you must feel good that your team won a Super Bowl.
Oh, they won the Super Bowl when they beat the Rams.
All right, bro. Are we going to have to put up with this gloating for the next 2 hours?
Oh, no.
Listen,
you're gloating.
I'm
putting up to it.
Scotty, shush. Not one word about gloating.
Listen.
He gets to the first game.
All right. These guys, this nothing team beat tin cans. My team is a dynasty killer, all right? Big difference. Continue.
They destroyed the Patriots dynasty. This was the dynasty about to start. Didn't you hear all the Patriots fans?
Oh, yeah.
I've got a couple of quick shout-outs. Obviously, as always, Sporting Boat Churnside Park, our beautiful sponsors. Thanks for the day. It was
fantastic day.
Unreal venue. The atmosphere was terrific. We had a great spot out the back, big TV. Dave really looked after us, and Eloise. So thank you. Tickets for all our friends as well. So
if you went there, you flat out missed out. It was unreal.
It was a really, really good day. That venue's it's such a well-built venue, and it was very busy. So I'm sure they're very happy.
A lot of quiet, sour Patriots fans were there.
There wasn't as many Patriots fans as I thought there would be.
No.
I think because they forgot, because Tom Brady doesn't play anymore, they're just not fans anymore.
All the hangers-ons have gone, yeah.
Shout out to our great sponsors there, and thanks to all our friends that came. Thanks to everyone who had the app set to us, because it's legitimately done some terrific things for us and allow us to upgrade a lot of stuff in the studio.
Shout out to all the new people that subscribed. QR codes if you're listening.
And if you were there, we had a QR code on the table. There will be a prize given out. I've got to do that tomorrow. To anyone who subscribed on YouTube and Instagram, but we got plenty. It was awesome. We got one subscription off hitting our goal on YouTube.
Hi, I'm here. I just checked. We hit 200 as of today.
Yes! It feels a bit.
End of the show. We're done.
Mate, well, I think ESPN are calling to hire us.
God, no. We're already getting names from Ryan Clark.
That was on my other show. Obviously, shout out to Tommy on the ones and twos over there. He's on the line tonight.
Yeah.
Unreal job from you, Tommy, and great job on the day as well. You did a lot of legwork for a couple of interviews that Rome and George did. I think George got a bit scared.
No, definitely didn't get scared. We couldn't get the mic working, man. It was awkward as hell walking around with a bloody phone.
Right, I took a couple of things we can chuck out. We can make shout.
Couldn't get the mic on.
Tommy put together a little video for the Sporting Globe. And then the other shout out is a couple more shout outs. One to Ryan Clark to responding to us this week. Absolute awesome. It was great to have a conversation with him. Very, very respectful, polite, and it was a very good conversation. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So shout out to Ryan Clark. I'm sure he won't hear this.
He's an educated, articulate man. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, he was terrific. So really
living fucking snot out.
Well, that's what I said to him. Like, one of my last messages was, we actually constantly talk about how fucking good you were, because people don't know how good he was.
Yeah.
He was a star. So
people don't know that.
If you're only a fan of the NFL in the last 5 to 10 years,
that's true.
You would never know who he was.
That's a very good point.
He played on a dominant defense and was a very good player and a very good leader. So he was outstanding. And also, my final shout out is to all the fucking Patriots fans. Pipe it, you losers. Suck it. You all told me I was a fucking idiot. You're frauds. Your schedule was easy. Eat it. And I also reposted it, and then I went back and responded to every comment from 3
days ago. Now let's end the show. Good on.
Yeah. I went to full piece of shit mode on Monday night when I got home and just started responding.
Anyone respond back?
Plenty, actually.
Nice.
And most of them responded being like, yeah, fair enough.
Petty J.A. is my favourite J.A.
He's my favourite J.A.
All right, let's move into this game.
All right, now let's talk about the game. Obviously, Seattle got the win, 29-13. Let's start. I thought we'd do a bit of like a half and a half talk, and we'll start with the first half. And my biggest takeaway from the first half was that Seattle were by far the more physical team. They dominated physically in every element of the game. And I think one of the big things we said, the big matchup was going to come down to run game of Seattle versus the Patriots defense that have stopped the run quite well in the playoffs so far. And they were not able to stop the run in this game. It was a bit of a bloodbath. They dominated them up front. They dominated them defensively. Obviously, we thought they were going to dominate them, but I think, George, you said before, this Patriots offensive line, you think it was worse than what you thought it was going to be?
I didn't have high hopes going into the game. I said that in the preview. They're going to have to do something because I don't know what's going to happen. And they were really bad. And, I mean, the outcome became apparent to me very quickly. I was standing in the back with Tom, watching all you louds get drunk. And, fair, yeah. And I just said, if they can't, doesn't matter what scheme you've got, what things you want to do, if you can't block, you can't win. And that's the NFL. They couldn't block a soul.
I think
couldn't block a soul.
It was pretty apparent pretty early on that Seattle dominated all three phases.
Yes.
Offensively, defensively, on special teams, they were very good. And then they just outcoached them. Like, Mike McDonald had so many things that were just confusing Drake Maye, confusing the coverage, overload blitzing DBs, like end stunts, all that sort of stuff.
And also,
McDaniels had no answers.
It was not what they've been doing the last few weeks as well. Like, he dialed up a completely new plan for it.
It's not even a McDaniels thing either, in my opinion. As I said, all well and good. Like, McDonald had great schemes and great things, and blitzing the D-backs and dropping D tackles into coverage, all cool stuff like that. But it doesn't matter what McDaniels does. If the O-line can't block anybody, it doesn't matter.
And because for the scripted 15 plays, the first 15 plays they've been working on for 2 weeks now. They were wide receiver little out route. A little slot receiver out route and a little wide receiver swing route, running back swing route. He had nothing. That was the scripted plays that they started off with.
Yeah.
That was the best plays that they had.
Mm-hmm. And
so he had nothing. They just got dominated with coaching. Like, Vrabel was coach of the year, and he was a deer in headlights.
Yeah, I think defensively they played okay.
No, defensively they were good. Come on. Say it properly. They were fine.
Here's my point.
The problem is at some point, the defense spent a lot of time on the field. The offense couldn't move the balls. A lot of 3-and-outs, a lot of punts, a lot of really short offensive possessions. I thought for 2.5 to 3 quarters, the Patriots defense was really good, pretty stout.
I just think
that they were still moving the ball and still getting
the ball. And we can talk about.
Well, getting in the red zone, they couldn't convert in the red zone though.
Yeah, but I don't think that was because the Patriots were necessarily defending well. I think it was for some reason in this game, and it was not just Darnold. It wasn't just the receivers. They were dropping the ball. Like, Darnold missed JSN on a wide open touchdown in the second quarter.
JSN had 3 drops in the first half, and I don't even think he's had a drop all year.
Apparently, JSN wasn't. He went to the 10th 4 times.
He had a concussion.
Yeah, I think
second quarter.
Yeah, he looked a bit out of it. But Cooper Kupp was very good, I thought.
Yeah.
It was just, to me, yes, the Patriots defense, they hung in there, right? But if Seattle had been able to, which they weren't, if they'd been able to just hit some of the pass before the half where Gonzalez jumps across and almost intercepts it, that was 5 yards behind Jackson. That was a bad throw from Darnold. If he threw that like he was throwing it last week at the Rams, that's a touchdown, and they go in 13-0 at halftime. And it's basically over. The touchdown pass, the driver, they got the touchdown to Barner off the turnovers again. But what did we say? They're gonna, if you turn the ball over, they're gonna capitalize. And I think the biggest takeaway I took from what Seattle did, and this is coaching, they didn't overthink it. They had a dominant defense that was dominating the game, and McDonald was like, you know what?
Dominant running game.
Yeah, it's 3rd and long. We're in field goal range. I'm just going to run a dive here. We're not going to get it.
Yeah.
We'll kick another field goal.
Yeah.
We'll just keep adding points on here. And if these guys if they want to open up the playbook and start trying to compete with this, they're going to turn the ball over. If they're going to play this weak offense and they're not going to take any chances, they're not going to try and put anything downfield, we will take it all day. We'll build our lead, and then we'll force their hand later, and we'll generate the turnovers later. And that's what they did.
It definitely looked like the Patriots were coaching scared. It was almost like I think they knew they were outmatched. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's like they played very aggressive defense at the start, and Seattle were running the ball and passing the ball quite well at the start as well. And then when they found out that, we can't stop them playing super aggressive, they sort of went into more of a shell sort of look. Yeah. And just try to let Seattle eat up some yards and then stop them in the red zone, which they did do. But I mean, on the flip side of that, the Patriots never look like scoring. So when you're just bleeding all these field goals, it just turned into a lead that you couldn't get.
Well, when it got to 12-0 and then you saw the Patriots kind of ramp up their pass because they had to start passing the ball.
Yeah.
It was that first drive. May made a couple of good throws, got a couple of first downs, and then eventually held onto it for too long. You tried to buy some time, and then that's when you play into the hands of the Seattle defense. Fumble, and then what have we said all year about Seattle? When they generate a turnover, they score on you, and they instantly went and scored. Straight away, ran the ball a few times, and then popped a really nice play there up to Barner for the touchdown.
Barner had a huge game.
Yeah, he played really well. And this, I mean, like, I just think, yes, Patriots defense, they hung in there. They were okay.
They hung in there.
I don't think they were.
Dan was always going to break it.
I think if we got...
They weren't elite by any stretch.
I didn't say they were elite. I said they were good.
I think
they hung in there against a good team.
If we got if the passing game for Seattle had just been able to iron out a couple, which they did in the second half, in fairness, they just been able to iron out a couple of plays. It could have
completely guessed.
That's what I mean. But it could have been 24-0 at halftime if they punched in touchdowns.
Yeah.
And then we're having a completely different conversation.
I mean, we are.
And I know they did, but so you've got to give credit for it.
I mean, it was at halftime. It was 9-0,
and it was over.
I don't know about over, but it didn't. At that point, there, it didn't look like New England could move the ball.
I asked the question on the day, do you think if they got Vrabel for the game and said, you can go in to halftime down 9-0, I think he would have taken
100%. You're still, at that point there, on the scoreboard, you're still in the game.
Yeah. And can I talk about the offensive line? Did you see their trigger for it? So the left guard, I think it's Wilson for the Patriots. So apparently what they worked out watching film for the last 2 weeks, that whenever he's blocking, he looks at the person. You're taught as an offensive lineman, you want to be neutral eyes.
Look straight down. Yeah.
So you want to recognize, even if you look at the guy that you're going to block and he's on the right, you then look back and look at other guys, and then it's called neutral eyes before the snap. You're looking forward, head up, no tells. Wilson looked at the guy he was blocking every play. So what they did is they had the two DBs they blitzed a lot. They would wait for Wilson to look, and then they would signal and go, he's looking to the right, so now you've got a tackle on an end. He's definitely sliding down, blitz that gap because he's not going to be ready for it. And that's when they were generating that quick pressure from the slot through that B gap every time. That's just great coaching. That's a coach that's like, I found a perfect trigger for it. And it's something that feels so simple, but it had such a big impact on the game.
Now that you brought up like a little bit of a coaching thing, against the Rams as well, they realized that the Rams returner, when the punt was in the air, he would always look at the gunners like 2 to 3 times. So what they did is they didn't try to kick for like yards. They went for hang time. So he would look 4 times, knowing that was out of his comfort zone, and then he'd fumble it.
Yeah, he fumbled it twice.
And they fumbled it twice, and that was like they said after the game. It's like, I don't know, we knew that, we saw that, and we knew that he did that, and it's just like the smallest little things to get a play to go your way, or something that out of the ordinary, where you can just put someone in a position where they're not used to. That's all it takes.
Yeah,
and McDonald's definitely got the level of autism required to find these little things. So
he's crazy. Like he just loves ball, man.
Yeah,
and that's what you want as a head coach. That's what you have to be if you want to be
sitting in players as well.
Yeah, the players love him.
Yeah.
His embrace with Darnold after the game, where they were hugging him. Darnold was like, "Thanks for taking a chance on me. Like, I love you. I'll never forget you." And McDonald goes, "Mate, you're a Super Bowl champion." He's like, "So are you." And McDonald just starts crying into his chest. It's like,
look. McDonald and Darnold are probably terrible interviews because they're so very dry and factual and like
very wooden.
Yeah. But for football players, fantastic.
What you want, and like we can dial it back a little bit. What a move from them, deciding like they move on from Geno Smith, who had been competent for them the last few years and been very productive for them. And took a bit of a flyer on a guy that had played one good season and, let's be honest, fell apart late in the season for the Vikings. And they assessed it and went, no, we think the Vikings fell apart on him as much as he fell apart on them. So let's build a team, get this last piece in here, and let's not fall apart around him. And then it just shows you that, like, the situation is almost as much everything as the player, right?
And zero turnovers for the playoffs.
Zero turnovers the player. This is a guy that, yes, I know a lot of people were waiting for him to have that meltdown, and although he wasn't great in this game, he just didn't make any mistakes. Like he missed a few passes, which isn't great. And if he hit those passes, he's probably the MVP because he's probably got 3 touchdowns and 350 yards. But that's life. He didn't hit him, but he didn't lose the game for them at any point.
Yeah.
He was happy to just, you know what? There's nothing here. I'm going to check this down. Our defense is going to come out, kick crap out of him again. We'll get the ball back. We'll play field position with him. Michael Dixon could have almost been the MVP for how well he's done.
I've got some facts. I've got some facts for you. He had 6 punts inside the 20 and 3 inside the 6.
He was unreal.
That is insane.
That's
Some guys don't even get that in the season.
No,
And he got that in the Super Bowl.
It was probably the best punting game you could ever imagine.
Aussie boy, shout out.
Yeah, anytime Aussie wins Super Bowl, you're going to shout him out. But
Yeah.
he was unreal. And I guess we go to the second half. It kind of just went where everyone thought it was going to go in that second half, where if the Patriots had to open up the game. And in fairness to May, he had a really good couple of the throw over the middle before the touchdown pass to Hollins that was an unbelievable pass. And then the pass for the touchdown was really good as well. Wallen was late to set up. And
that was a good sequence. They knew that Seattle weren't going to get the call in, so the Patriots went into hurry up. And the defense wasn't quite ready, and Wallen didn't quite get over, so they had the deep route, and he threw it on in the absolute bucket. It was perfect. And it was Wallen had good defense. His hand was right there in between the ball and the chest, and he just couldn't rip it out. And Hollins made a great catch. So it was a good little sequence from the Patriots for sure.
But it was and then they scored that touchdown, and I feel like when they got it to 19-7, the door creaked the slightest bit open for the Patriots. There was 10 minutes left still. You think, they're gonna, and then Seattle went 3 and out, and you're like, if they score here, is there a chance? But what good defenses do is they learned off what that last play was, and they called the right play. Yeah. Julian Love on the sideline literally said, "I know what he's doing. He's going to hold it for half a second, then throw it. So I'm going to wait before I break on it and break that extra half second later." And then picked it off and basically ended the game there. And then there was obviously the fumble. Or was it an interception or a fumble recovery?
They ruled it an interception, which probably went against Witherspoon, because with that, he would have had 3 sacks and a forced fumble and 8 tackles, which is probably
also would have broken the Super Bowl record for sacks in the game.
Yeah.
So 6 and 7. 6 is they're tied for it. 7 would have been the record.
But those numbers there, I mean, Kenneth Walker had a fantastic game, but he could have been one of those 2 guys could have got the MVP.
Well, we can talk about MVP now, because I feel like I don't think Kenneth Walker was definitely the engine room on the offense and set the tone. He really was very explosive, and he was a bit unlucky for a penalty later. Not that it was an egregious penalty, but if he gets that touchdown run, then the MVP is probably even more worthy.
Yeah.
But I feel like the defensive guys there was a defensive guy that probably Derek Hall, Witherspoon both played really well. They probably could have stole it, but
I'd say Witherspoon was the one. But if a guy has 160 all-purpose yards, you got to give it to him.
100%. I think I have no gripe with it, but I just think that the defense was if you could give the MVP to the whole defense, that's what they should. Obviously, you can't. That's how it works. But it was just I just think that we talk about Seattle as a whole. They've just shown, particularly through the stretch at the end of the season and then the playoffs, that they were just the most complete team in the NFL from all round. Their defense it was them and the Texans. We argued all year. You can argue either one of the best defenses. The difference was for the Texans and Seattle is that the Texans had a quarterback that gave the game away, and Darnold not only won them the NFC Championship game with a terrific game, but then when the moment was when he knew that I don't have to score 40 points here to win this game, he just played the game right. Didn't turn the ball over, and no turnovers in the playoffs. That's an unreal stat. Playing against the best teams, and playing against the Niners and the Rams, division teams that know you, that's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah.
I think the right guy won MVP.
I have no gripes with it, but if you could give it to the entire defense or Kenneth Walker, give me the entire defense. But Walker individually. We said this game's going to be won and lost by the Patriots stopping the run, because that's what they've done all the playoffs. I guess the difference was for the Patriots here is they didn't have the worst offensive line in football with the Chargers. They didn't have Stroud throwing the game away against the Texans and a backup quarterback in a snowstorm in the AFC Championship game. The slate helped them stop the run. I don't think the defense was as good as what it was advertised. I think it could be and it will be, but I think they were a bit of a mirage.
That's probably the story of the year, really, like with the Patriots. And right, this is going to trigger a lot of people, but like, everyone's like, oh, they're the third-ranked offense. I was like, yeah, but like, you have to look at the schedule a little bit and then be aware that is a telling sign. It's like, oh, that you pull one stat, the Patriots defense is better than Seattle. It's like, yeah, but like, watch both teams play. Like, they're not in the same tier. Like,
this is the biggest vindication of why the regular season helped Drake Maye be so successful. Right? And please don't get me wrong, I really like Drake Maye. He's going to be a terrific quarterback in the NFL. Like
100%. I had him as the best quarterback in the draft.
Yeah,
and I stood on that hill.
He's a terrific player, but his playoff stats were 70 of 120, 58% completion, which is well below league average. 822 yards, which was 200 yards a game, which is fine. I don't have anything against that. 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and 4 fumbles lost. So that's in 4 games. If you put that over a season, that's 32 turnovers in a season. It's 3,100 yards, and I think it's 32 touchdowns to 32 turnovers.
Jameis Winston.
He's probably one of the worst quarterbacks in football over a season, if you compile it all right. And I know the playoffs are tough, and I know they played good defenses in the playoffs, which has a say in it. But this is the whole point, right? That the reason they were able to be so successful in that regular season was because they really played good defenses.
Yeah, and it inflated their stats a little bit.
That's
like over the whole season. But like they still won the game to get there. I think they were just outmatched really at the end of the day. Like we sort of said pre-show that if you broke down all the position groups, that Seattle outside of quarterback probably wins every position group. They don't have good receivers. There's a couple of guys on defense who are a little bit leaky, and that showed in this game as well, that there was some burnt coverages that Seattle didn't capitalize on. The run defense was a little bit hit and miss. They were good in patches against the run, but they also gave up 130 yards. So
in fairness to Milton Williams, though, he's a big game player. That was a great signing by them, Milton Williams.
He had 2 tackles in this game, but his impact was probably a little bit bigger.
He was in the backfield a lot. You could see he was penetrating. Him and Barmore played quite well on the side. But I think what Seattle did was the right thing. And went, all right, well, we don't want to just run into their 2 strong D tackles every time. Let's just run edge on them and make them stretch. And that's where Walker got most of his big plays, was stretching to that edge.
Oh, and being patient as well.
Yeah, he's earned himself a lot of money this offseason.
Yeah.
For agent.
And just one thing I wanted to touch on, both the DNs for the Patriots combined for 1 tackle, which was one thing that I was pretty big on. That they're not really that good. So, and they were going to get murdered by the tackles for the offensive tackles for Seattle. So
Abe Lucas is, and we discussed this, George, on the day. He is the biggest human being I can remember seeing. That guy, I don't know if it's just the neck roll and the high pads as well.
No.
He is a huge man.
He lost a little bit of weight coming into the offseason because he's had knee injuries, and it was the first year he was healthy. And fuck me, he's moving people this year.
Again, like you talk about the Charles Cross and Abe Lucas contracts that they did. Abe Lucas was the end of last season, which people were like, oh, that's a bit much for him. It pays off now, because now if those 2 hitting free agents now, like you'd be paying double the money they've just paid him. So they re-signed some guys at the right time. Where do you think the Patriots go from here? Is this, I guess the big question is this the Washington Commanders from last year that got a bit luckier so they were able to make the Super Bowl? Or is this team a legitimate contender, and can they get back to this in the next couple of seasons? Like, are they built to contend?
Well, I don't know if they're built to contend or not. They're not a bad team by any stretch. I don't know that the roster holistically, it's got a few holes in it. There's a few things that definitely need improving. Like I said, the O-line needs immediate attention.
Oh, yeah.
That should be the number 1 priority this offseason.
Can we talk about Will Campbell quickly while we're talking O-lines? Oh, he had a bad day. He had a bad second half of the season.
Personally, I think the way the media has attacked this young man over the past 3-4 days is just. And I understand that this is a rabid dog industry, and people want clicks, and people want to, try and get as much engagement as they possibly can. Like, can we just give the young man a fucking break? Like, he's a fucking rookie, for God's sakes. This is his first season in the NFL. Yeah. He's playing hurt. He's
probably playing the toughest position in football.
Yeah, literally playing. Yeah, apart from, I think corner and tackle are probably the 2 hardest positions in the NFL outside of quarterback.
Outside of quarterback. Yeah.
So The kid's trying his guts out. He's playing injured. It's the most amount of games he's ever played in a single year before. Like, let's just give the kid a fucking break. Like, this dragging him over hot coals because, all right, statistically he had the poorest game of any offensive one ever. Like, all right, fine. Like, give the kid a break.
They also, as a team, broke the record for sacks and pressures in the playoffs. So, I know that they played all 4 games, which makes it hard, which makes it easier to break a record. But that's like, if you break a record like that, we can say Drake Maye had a better playoffs as well, but you've got to give, like, we can't give Herbert a break and then not give Drake Maye a break as well. Like, there wasn't a lot the kid could do.
That's what I was saying at the start. Like, if you can't block anyone, it doesn't matter what you scheme up or what you try and do. They can't block. Like, the O-line was essentially like 5 high-paid widget hats. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, none of them played. That's the thing. Like, just shitting on Will Campbell it's easy when the entire offensive line.
Yeah, but that's just shit journalism. That's guarded journalism, man.
That's what I mean. I agree.
Shitting on a rookie. Like, come on, dude.
And also, before he got injured during the year, he was actually playing quite well. He wasn't phenomenal, but we had a few podcasts early saying hey, Campbell's go about him, and then he got hurt. So
the season just wears on you, man. It's NFL.
It's not an excuse, but you can have a reason why your players dropped off as well. Like, he clearly was hurt. The Patriots said they rushed him back because they needed him. He said his knee wasn't right after the game, and then you can be one person the other way. You can say, "Oh well, of course he's going to say that now." If you watch the clip, because he didn't talk to the media immediately after the game, and I don't blame him. It was in the locker room a few hours later, and he basically said, "I just needed some time to decompress." But
I think he knows that his ass handed to
him. Yeah, 100%. He doesn't man. He knows.
Yeah, he doesn't want to have these idiots and microphones in his face just after losing. So,
and his thing about his knee was he didn't say it's not an excuse, but I haven't felt right since I've had it. I just need to get there. So what are you going to do from here? Basically, was the question. He's like, I'm going to get my body right and come back and compete again. And you can doubt his ability on the day, but his endeavour was always there.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, just the kid, you can see he's trying his hardest. Like, just give him a break.
But also,
nobody played well, and the whole O-line was clearly outmatched versus the Seattle D-line. Like, what the fuck do you want them to do?
And this, like, if you go through all the stats for this defense, this like carries weight to be one of the best defenses in history. In whichever way you want to look at it, point differential, EPA, DVOA, whatever you want, it's always in the top like 3 or 4 in history.
It just shows how good the Rams and Stafford were in the NFC Championship game. Put points on them. They were about the only team that put points on them all year.
And a bit fake as well.
Like it took something special.
Talking about Matt Stafford and Sean McVay, they're both first ballot Hall of Famers.
100%. We Pooper and Devontae.
Well, probably
can we decide
first ballot in my opinion.
It's 10 seconds on Pooping and Cure.
He's crazy.
He's lost the plot.
Why?
He's tweeting shit at Ernest Jones.
No, he was tweeting at Sam Darnold, but he's out like getting arrested in the street, being hammered and talking shit to people. And
he's crazy.
It's off-season, bro. YOLO.
Yeah, nothing good happens in the off-season.
Anyway, back to the Patriots.
Yeah, what do you reckon?
Will definitely need addressing. They definitely need some more help at receiver. I think the defense overall is pretty good there. The defense is good enough to compete.
I agree. With Vrabel as a coach as well.
Vrabel as a coach, the defense as a whole is good enough to compete. Sure, around the margins they can tweak a few things, but they definitely need some more help on O-line and definitely some more help in the receiver room. Personally, you spoke about a pre-show about, does this thing Maye's, legacy or aura or anything? I personally think he'll be better for it. Getting back in the mouth early in your career, if you've got the right mindset, which it seems as though Maye does, if you've got the right mindset, a smack early in the mouth early in your career can put you on the right path. Because if you don't get that smack early on, you can drink your own bathwater a little bit too much, and you can get ahead of yourself a little bit. Well, this will just bring him back down to earth again. No. I need to get in the film room over the summer. I need to make sure my body's right so I can go again and continue to build on this good base that I've got.
And also getting so close and not winning is probably the best motivation possible.
Absolutely, especially for a young, hungry guy. Yeah. Absolutely.
I think, going back to your comparison to the Commanders, I think it is a weirdly similar situation because Commanders last year had a softer schedule, won a few games lucky, which is similar to the Patriots. I know it's going to trigger some people, but you won a few games and missed.
If you went through the Seahawks record, they won a few games like
They didn't win games by missed PATs.
Well, they But anyway, if you want, we can go through the schedule. There's at least 3 or 4 there that they won lucky as well. The point is, all wins in the NFL carry some form of luck. Sometimes it's a little bit, sometimes it's
I'm just saying that, in the last few minutes, there was a few games there they snatched, the beat was snatched from them and they won.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be a harder schedule. Obviously, the representative of the AFC for the Super Bowl, so they're going to get some more primetime games against Baltimore and potentially the Chiefs.
They'll definitely get Bills primetime. The 2 Bills games next year will be primetime.
They're going to get all these primetime games against really good competition, and it's probably going to be, they probably overachieved a little bit. And it's going to be a little bit of a humbling period next year as well. So.
Well, they definitely overachieved. No one at the start of the year. They won 5 games last year. There's no one on God's green earth that would have predicted they're going to go on a Super Bowl run in Vrabel's first year. There's no way. No one's
I think the big difference.
I said 11 wins, and everyone laughed at me like I was smoking crack. So
I had them for 9.
I didn't think they'd do this. The last thing we said on the Patriots, we didn't start turning on the Commanders until they started making the moves we're right there.
Yeah.
Let's go and get Tunsil. Let's go and get Debo.
Yeah.
That felt like, hey, we're the Chiefs going for our 3rd Super Bowl in a row. Let's add a bit of talent here and let's That's where we all started going, well, the Commanders there, you want to start adding older veteran guys that probably don't have one good year left in them now because they're not quite there for big contracts.
I think there's a big difference though between a Dan Quinn coach team and a
that's what I mean. So what I'm saying is that we didn't instantly start going, the Commanders are frauds, they're going to fall apart. It was when they started making these felt like desperate moves to trade for high-paid older players that hadn't been performing. Mm-hmm. That was when it was like, why are you doing this?
And the sort of feel rolled out. There's a lot of shit going on.
Yeah, they're paying him all that money and then he barely plays for the season, which again, what we said, was the moves they made. The Patriots just stay solidified with what they've got and draft well, add young talent. You don't want to be going and signing old guys and just bringing them in. Maybe on the O-line, you might have to. You should sign whatever. You should be throwing rocks on the street whenever you hit signing on the player.
The problem is
But they don't come very often. So they're going to do that.
I got a point quickly with that, with the Patriots compared to the Commanders as well. I think the Patriots are going to have the luxury of their division isn't going to have a big turnaround as much as the NFC East had this season. The Bears got really good. The Packers were really good. I mean, the Vikings weren't great, but that's not going to happen with the Patriots division, apart from the Bills, obviously, who they're going to have to verse twice. But I think they're going to have
I would say the Bills could be worse next year, personally.
It's like Chargers, Bengals, Ravens could all turn it around this year.
Definitely. I think conference definitely, but I think, within their division, I think they're still going to have a couple of easy games that they can work through compared to what the Commanders have to deal with.
The Jets are going to suck. They're going to be terrible again. The Dolphins are going to probably be worse this year because they're going to go. They're going to get rid of Tua. And
I think they're just going to be forced because
it'll be full rebuild. I'm pretty sure
they're trying to shop him around, and they're saying that they're going to eat the majority of his contract, and still no one still wants him.
That's what I mean. I think they're going to be worse next year.
They're going to have to cut him and just eat. I think it's $90-something million cap hit.
So
depending on when they cut him.
Yeah,
and there's no reason in my mind that the Patriots cannot compete for this division next year.
Agreed.
I think they've got all the right pieces. I love Vrabel. I love May. They've set themselves up. Yes, I truly believe they overachieved this year due to the schedule helped them overachieve into the playoffs by their seeding. It's not an excuse. It's just what the facts of it, right? And then what happened in the playoffs? Chargers we'll talk about Chargers for the case, man. Stroud threw the game away. They didn't really have to play. They had a quarterback that barely, they didn't play. He played as bad as every quarterback he played against, and they still won all 3 games. And that's just why winning should never be a quarterback-only stat. It should be a team stat. But, everyone highlight, Drake Maye, we're back. Everyone's mad because we're back. No, we're not mad. We're just throwing facts at you that you had a pretty lucky run and you probably won't get that next year. That's no reason to think they can't compete for the division. Or for the playoffs. I really believe they can.
I would say they're still a playoff team. Yeah,
I think they're better than what Washington were last year.
Yes.
I still think that, regardless of the schedule.
I just think it's a similar thing where they're probably not going to be a 14-win team next year.
It wouldn't shock me if they only won 8 games next year.
That's what I mean.
It would not shock me in the slightest.
I just think they're going to be playing a lot more tougher games. They're not going to win every game like they did. I'm not saying they're a bad team. You just play better competition. You can't fucking win every game.
It was the same thing you said with the Chiefs last year, George. Like, they're not going to get those 11 one-score wins again. Like,
No.
And the Vikings 2 years earlier, it just doesn't happen like that every year. Normally, the NFL evens out, and they got everything. They got everything, kind of every little thing that could fall their way this year. And they played well in moments as well. Their defense was phenomenal in the playoffs too. Like they forced Stroud into a lot of those crappy.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm saying. The defense is good. I would like that is a good enough defense to compete, especially with the division, especially that division. Absolutely, it's good enough.
I agree. All right, let's go to the Seattle Seahawks, because obviously you win a Super Bowl, everything's up. The legacy for them, like, is this like a one and done outlier for Seattle, or is this team building to be, competing for a Super Bowl every single year?
Well, I'm sure if you ask Scott, they're going to win the next 5. Like, I'm sure that's what he's going to say.
What? You're a dickhead.
No, you're just an idiot.
That's what you were saying. Oh, it's guaranteed going back. No, I mean, they've got a lot of young guys locked up. Like, obviously, they've got a lot of core pieces in their first or second contracts that are locked up, but there's also a lot of guys there that are really helpful depth pieces that will that are up for free agency this year.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of decisions to be made, but
like, does Kenneth Walker? Do they re-sign Kenneth Walker?
I think you have to.
Yeah, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't.
You can't.
The running, and they're like 5th. I think they're 4th in total cap as well.
Yeah, that's $70 million, and they can cut Cooper Kupp, which you wouldn't, but to get another, I think, $20 million or something.
Cooper Kupp's the sort of guy that you'll be like, hey, let's restructure this a little bit and make this work.
He wants to stay.
He'll be like, sick. I'm from Seattle. Sick. I'm happy to be. I've made all my money at the Rams. I'm all good.
And you speak to JSN says every bit of success he's had this year is due to Cooper Kupp.
So I think there's some decisions to make, but the difference is that they have the cap to make those decisions and keep guys they want.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be shocked if Woolen's not on their team next year. They'll probably overpay to keep him, but I think they'll keep him.
Yeah, well, it's hard because obviously guys want to go and make their money, which is fine, go and do it. And guys like Woolen are probably going to get more than what.
So obviously Seattle have a lot of cap space. They've got some of the highest cap space in the NFL. So they can bring back a lot of guys. And I think Kenneth Walker, I think they'd be stupid. Like, the running back money is just not high enough to not warrant bringing back your Super Bowl MVP and
to bring back
a guy that turned it on for the playoffs. Like,
yeah.
You know, was it the Niners he went off? He was shut down a bit by the Rams, and Darnold obviously picked up the slack there.
Charbonnet's injured as well.
Charbonnet ACL, so you don't have him to fall back on if you let him walk. I think he's played himself into just a perfect situation. And also, like, what are you going to pay him? He's not going to get Sam Darnold. He's not going to get $19 million.
Nah.
He'll probably get around 12 to 15, something like that.
Right. It helps when you got Darnold on such a nice, friendly deal as well.
So, I mean, this is just like he's on $30 million for 3 years as a cap hit.
Yeah.
That's
no guarantee this year.
That's a bargain for quarterbacks.
Yeah. And I think on defense as well, there's Woolen, Josh Jobe, and Kobe Bryant, who are free agents. Boy Marfa, they'll probably let walk. He fell out of the rotation towards the end of the year. So a lot of the core guys are still there to stay, which, I mean, I think Seattle can still contend for the division. And I think they're still good enough that they're not going to drop off that much. But
the trouble with the division is that the Rams are still going to be really good next year. Stafford obviously coming back. So, it was a very fine line this year. Like, it took Seattle winning clutch games down the stretch to get the 1 seed, which was super important. And then you literally had to beat your 2 division teams in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So they're like, and would you beat the Rams by? Was the Rams overtime? I can't even remember now.
No, they beat the Rams by 4.
That's right. Yeah, they picked off stuff in the end zone on 4th down, or they Witherspoon flicked in the end zone. Yeah. So you beat them by a drive, you win that game. So it's a very fine line in that division, and that division's not going to be. I don't think the Cardinals will be very good again. I truly do think the 49ers will be worse next year. I know 49ers don't want to think that, but I can't see.
Not all the shit they've been talking this week.
No, I can't see them being better next year. Like, they might be just as good. Like, I know you get Warner back and Bosa, but they're both into their 30s now. Like, I think we said this year this was their last shot at competing, and it was always going to be a long shot as well.
I think the 49ers window is officially shut.
Yeah,
I think for the last year.
I think it's going to be out of Rams and Seattle.
I don't see CMC having a year next year like this year.
No,
I think his wheels are going to completely fall off CMC next year for what it's worth.
Yeah, so I think like it'll be Seattle. I truly think it'll be, if I was predicting my Super Bowl winner next year right now, to be the Rams. I think they're going to.
Sure.
They were so good this year and just fell short. I think they'll be able to. It's very rare that teams can go back to back.
And they kept what's his name? Is it Chris Fuller for the defensive coordinator?
Yeah,
Schuler.
That's right, Schuler. Yeah. So they kept Schuler.
That was actually a really good keep.
Yes,
really
absolutely.
good.
I think he's a stud. So that's huge. Obviously, Seattle lost QB to the.
It's going to have an
Raiders.
impact.
Well, we was going to talk about that.
Yeah. And he's going to take a few coaches with him as well, because he brought a few coaches over. So that's worth stating. But I think the core pieces for Seattle will stay.
Well, let's talk about it. What effect, if any, do you think that's going to have? QB leaving.
Well, it is a little bit disappointing. I would have liked to have him there for 2 seasons, because then you get the apprentice there as well.
Yeah.
You promote the apprentice. So
You probably lose the apprentice now because you'll go with him.
yeah. So I mean, obviously being in the Super Bowl, all the other coordinator jobs are all taken. So you got the scrap heap. So you pretty much got to hire within, and there's a few guys that are highly regarded. I don't know which way they're going to go, but there's also not a lot of guys that have experience going in place. So it's going to be an interesting shuffle with what happens there. It honestly comes down to who Kubiak takes with him.
Yeah, they'll have to work that.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with Seattle next year, because obviously Kubiak leaving, like you said, he's going to take his own guys with him as well. He'd be foolish not to, especially to the Raiders, where he's going to need all the help he can get.
Yeah.
So you'd think just by extension that the offense is going to suffer as a result. And then on the defense, although, you know, the majority of the same core guys are going to be coming back, as we all know, defense is more often than not a very fickle year to year. It's very rare that a defense can play this well for multiple years.
Do you think with McDonald though they can?
Oh, look, I won't be surprised if they do buck the trend in a good year on year.
Yeah.
But if you look, you know, statistically over the years, defenses can't be this good multiple years in a row. Doesn't normally happen.
Yeah, because defense comes down to a lot of opportunistic moments as well, which is turnovers in big moments and stuff. So
I think the difference that is that McDonald puts his guys in those positions. It's not necessarily always a talent thing.
No, they've got a lot of. They do have a lot of good young talent too, like Byron
Murphy.
Murphy's one of the
Huge.
M&Y Witherspoon's just played his 3rd year.
Yeah.
You know, and the same on offense. Like JSN just won Offensive Player of the Year. Led the league in yards and won a Super Bowl, which is I think they're the 2nd player to ever do that. So there's a ton of talent there. If they keep Kenneth Walker, the O-lines, it's young and it's all signed. I think they do need to fix up. They've either got to get Bradbury playing at a better level, Bradford, sorry, or find a replacement for him. I don't think he's the worst player in the league, but his ceiling and floor is too far apart.
He's got any weakness on the team, to be completely honest.
Sundell had a really good year at center. They'll be very comfortable with him next year. Zabel's obviously only a rookie, so he's like offensive lineman. You know, only get better. If they're good, they only get better as it goes on. So all the pieces are there for them. It's just I think the biggest question mark now is what happens with Kubiak leaving, and also the effect that has on Darnold, because Darnold the last 2 years he's been phenomenal, but he's had Kevin O.C., which we talk about. Sorry, KOC, who we talk about as the quarterback whisperer, which I think we said before. It's starting to the leash is starting to end for him, but he got Darnold playing at a high level. Darnold credits himself a lot to Shanahan the year before at the Niners, helping him develop. And then Kubiak, obviously, this year was just the perfect system for what Darnold's skill set could do.
Yep.
So there's also that concern is if another system comes in, is Darnold talented enough to just embrace that system? And is he that good a player that he can play in any system? It's not. I'm not saying either or either. It's just another question.
It's an unknown.
Well, I think the coordinator that they'll hire within is Jack Peets, who's worked with KOC and Kubiak and McFadden. So he's worked with all 3 of them.
Got a bit of mail on who could be taking over OC for Kubiak. Mike Kafka, who's the quarterback coach at Seattle, they reckon is in pretty much.
No, he's at the Giants.
Well, he's now at. They reckon he's going to come in at Seattle and be the new OC because he also was quarterback coach for Kansas City from 2018 to 2021. So they reckon he will come in and pretty much run the same sort of offense that Kubiak did.
That's what they need to do. They need to bring in a quarterback guy. Keep working with Darnold.
It's definitely going to be a Kubiak, Shanahan, McVay system that will be there because all that infrastructure is already there. So whoever the best person that's not on a roster at the moment or within that's going to run that system is going to be the OC.
But this is the hard part of success. We saw it with the Eagles last year. We've seen it with the Chiefs. Like, coaches leave. That's what happens. Like, the only ones that stay are McDaniels because he's a snake. But sorry. I can have a cheap shot in.
You let him fail twice.
2 times. But yeah, he's also the most Super Bowl wins for an offensive coordinator ever, so we can't do that.
And offensive coordinator of the year. Coordinator of the year he won.
Right.
And it showed with the Super Bowl performance.
It's almost like I wish they could play the Jets in the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, that will never happen for anyone. But yeah, I think there's some question marks there. Tommy, let's go to some predictions we did last week and where we stacked up some of our stuff we did for the Super Bowl preview. I'll let you lead us and we'll react to what you want to bring up.
All right, so we might as well just start where the game ended, I guess, with the scores you guys had for your predictions. So Jay, you had Seattle 28-17. Georgie, you had the Patriots winning a tight one, 24-21. And Scotty, you had 31-10, who, when we did a bit of math before the show, Scotty was pretty much the closest to the pin. Yeah.
I don't remember that's how it went in my mind.
In your mind.
Yeah.
We brought up numbers and then...
Do you want to be an idiot on the podcast as well?
Well, I was
Are we going to talk about the
off the
predictions
Seahawks
again?
score.
Yeah. And then 4 points off.
So I was 5 points total. And what were you? You were 2 points off the Seattle score. So we were both the same. I don't want to bring up how good I am at math and start counting up votes again on the podcast because all of us will have an aneurysm, including the fan.
I still have PTSD from that.
But we were both, me and Scotty were both spot on. The only person that was wrong was you, George.
Yay!
Any response?
It's right there.
Do you want to apologise to Seattle fans?
What do I have to apologise for?
Your disrespect.
I've got nothing to apologise for. I made my prediction and I gave valid reasons as to why I think it would happen. It just didn't.
Fair enough. All right, next one, Tony.
Yeah, next one. I mean, we can go through this quickly. It was the MVP. Both were going the quarterbacks of who you thought was going to win. But yeah, as we said, the Super Bowl MVP was the first time running backs won in almost 30 years. So yeah,
it's Terrell Davis. I believe was it 1988, the year I was born.
1998 for the Broncos.
Not the year I was
beat
born.
the Packers. But I was just looking at Terrell Davis's stats for the Super Bowl MVP that year, just to see how it went up. He had 157 rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns in that game. So he had a good game, to say the least. But so if we go across and look at some of the bold predictions you guys had, which, I mean, Scotty, I reckon you're pretty dead on here. You had Seahawks defense forces 3 turnovers, which I think literally happened, to be fair.
My favorite one's...
No worries. The intro just wanted to start.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a good intro. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, Scotty having the Seahawks having 3 defensive turnovers. I think that's literally what happened in the game. So,
hey, isn't that a fair point to bring this as well? I said that the game will be rigged and the Patriots will win. Shout out to the ref.
The refs are very good.
That was a terrific ref game. The only call that was kind of a touch and go call was the Cooper Cup one in like the 3-yard line. And I actually think the ref got it right. The defender got out of the way and didn't impede him being able to catch it.
As a Seattle fan, like he didn't turn his head to the ball or anything like that, but he also didn't make contact with Cooper Cup.
He actually got out of his way.
In the way of the ball.
And the ball hit in the back of the head, didn't it?
Yeah. Like it was.
Yeah.
I thought the refs were. I'm the first to shit on them, as we know. There was one of the best ref games of the season. So
It was.
well done to the NFL for getting the right refs in the game, and well done for the refs for just calling the game on its merit. I think that was terrific. I don't think I've heard anyone say the referee was bad.
I didn't pay any notice to them, so that's probably a good sign.
in fairness, I think if the game was really close towards the end, that holding call that stopped Kenneth Walker scoring that big touchdown, I think would have been a major talking point if that was going to have.
Even that was there. I mean, it was a soft call, but it was there.
It was absolutely there. But if that was a touchdown that would have put Seattle in front, everyone would have been like, was that holding? And then all of a sudden, I think it's sometimes with refs, it's the situation compared to the actual call itself, even though it was the right call.
Pretty fair point.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, let's have a look at a bit of fun. Who's going to go missing? And I think you're all pretty spot on. Like JSN, even though he was a bit concussed, went missing for the Seattle Seahawks, and Stephon Diggs was a non-factor in the game for the Patriots.
And he almost punched everyone in the stadium, so I was almost right on
that. I was going to go through that as well.
The Stephon Diggs drama with Cardi B.
Well, this is a big tragedy.
Oh my god! Apparently they broke up just before the game because
love isn't real. Man.
Stephon Diggs had his other baby mama in the stands, and then snuck his best friend, that's a girl, who then apparently went home with him after to the hotel room. Didn't even stay with the team, just pissed off immediately to go back to the hotel room and lay some fucking wood. Which obviously had to get plenty left in his system from his awful game. But
you know what they say about in the Stephon Diggs house at the moment? As long as he's not James Pierce. Because he is really off.
Shout out to the Atlanta Falcons.
Can you say it properly, please? The Atlanta Falcons.
They're fucking shit.
Yeah, and I think that one thing I'll say on if you had told me, if you just looked at the box score after this game and didn't know the result and saw Drake Maye threw for 295 yards and 2 touchdowns, JSN had two catches for 24 yards. 4 catches for 24 yards.
Completed 50%.
And Darnold completed 50% and threw for 200 yards and 1 touchdown. You'd be like, Patriots won, surely. That's why you can't watch the box score. You have to watch the game.
Or at least like it'd be close.
You wouldn't have thought it was a dead set drumming. So I think we all got that pretty right.
So first touchdown, I mean, Cooper Kupp had a really good game, but AJ Barner's first touchdown would have been some good money if you had that on there to go for the game. Drake Maye rushing touchdown. That was pretty much the only bit of offense Drake Maye had all day was when he
was the fourth quarter.
Yeah, correct. The X factor for the Patriots, everyone had Milton Williams, and for some reason Trayvon Henderson wasn't allowed on the field. Ramonde Stevenson.
What was with that? Why did Vrabel go back away from the guy that had so many big plays?
I think the pass protection stuff.
He wouldn't do that just for no reason.
I think it's that, and he doesn't run straight through the hole. He sort of dances around a little bit. And they can probably see the penetration from the defense, and that big explosive play off script probably wasn't going to be there. So that's why they didn't play him.
Yeah, that's fair enough too. And in fairness to Milton Williams, I actually think he played pretty well. He had a sack. He had a few tackles, but I noticed him a lot penetrating, but unfortunately they were just running edge, so they might have been letting him do that a lot as well. But the game plan kind of beat out Milton Williams from Seattle because they were able to get that edge so often. So I certainly think he didn't disgrace himself.
Then in the big call, Jimmy going with Kenneth Walker as the X factor for the Seahawks, I think is the biggest call in the predictions that came because he was Super Bowl MVP. That's
why I had him and Milton Williams, because I genuinely thought if Milton Williams if they dominated and stopped the run, it would have been him having a huge game. And if Kenneth Walker dominated and they were able to run the ball, which was going to be the biggest turning point of this game, that he would have had a huge game. And Kenneth Walker just got off the rope unfortunately for the Patriots. And in fact, Williams, he played very well too.
Yeah, it's the same thing as Milton Williams.
He
had no stats, but he was impactful.
Yeah, he was very good.
In all fairness, we joked about it, but literally the first play of the game when Kenneth Walker ran for about 8 yards that first play, we all were like, it's over. And you could argue that's when the game was over because the run was unleashed.
George is still saying there's time for a Patriots comeback.
I literally didn't say anything. I just laughed, man.
All right, next one.
Next one, hidden heroes. Christian Gonzalez for George was pretty much, I reckon he was the best Patriot on the ground all day. Some of those, he was, an inch or two off 2 interceptions probably.
Oh, his play on that deep ball to
Shaheed. That was fantastic.
That was great route, great coverage, great throw. And it was that was a fingertip from a touchdown. Yeah. That was good football all around. That was terrific. Yeah. That almost kept them in the game in that first half, that play. And then the one, we said that Darnold missed that throw to JSN, but Gonzalez's desperation to run across, dive and undercut it, except he could have easily just been like, I've been beaten and slug it, and it would have been touchdown still. The fact that he kept working, dove and made the play, like that kept him alive in the first half. Those two
He's a hell of a player, man.
He's a very, very good player. Very enjoyable to watch.
And again, Jimmy, got to give you due. The hidden hero, AJ Barner for Seattle, he scored their first touchdown and pretty much sewed the game up. So
three of them had a really good
yeah,
I think all three of them were pretty good.
Correct.
Witherspoon could have been the MVP.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp had
the fact that we had
AJ
all these
Barner.
three as hidden hero and they were probably the X factors apart from Kenneth Walker in the game. So
So are you saying no ball time?
I think that's exactly what he's saying.
I'm reading between the lines, which I'm good at in my household. I think he's saying that you we no ball.
Yeah.
Any more?
Here we go. Just quickly, your locks, what was going to happen definitely. George had Darnold throw multiple interceptions. Scotty had hitting the over for rushing yards. And you had a big call going the way of the Patriots.
I was wrong, and happily. Well done, refs. I've never been proud of a group of refs. Well done.
what was his rushing yards? Was it 34?
Yeah, he had 37 rushing yards.
Well, would have won that.
Yeah, 37 rushing yards. I don't know what the over was.
I think it was 35, to be fair. And the locks for Seattle, you said the Seattle were going to force fumble for a sack, which they did. They got a touchdown pretty much out of it. Georgie still kept with the Darnold throwing multiple interceptions, and Scotty had JSN will hit the over for receptions.
Well, it wasn't from a lack of trying.
He can't blame the amount of attempts they threw.
No.
Should have had that popcorn before the game.
Oh, yeah, that drop that was almost an interception too. That was very close. That was a pretty easy catch too. Watching that. Yeah.
If it is both hands.
It's a bit off, Jason. It's a bit
It
off.
was, yeah.
And finally, the big fun takes, the wild takes. You said Bad Bunny to make a political statement, George, which I think he did everything right. Bad Bunny.
He definitely did make a political statement at the end there. We were talking about all the different countries and how hate and love and all that stuff.
Yeah, he made a different political statement though. He did the right way. He preached everyone should just love each other, not fuck off.
Well, he said like God bless America and then included all the South American and Canadian.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's a fair
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but yeah.
I also saw a great take.
Piss everyone off. Yeah.
I also saw a great take that was like, hey, if 50 or 60 Latino women shaking their ass is gay, call me gay. That was what a lot of people said.
It's very fine young fillies doing some amazing work.
Hey, Jessica Alba was
Can we
there.
confirm that Stephon Diggs did not throw a punch at a teammate?
Well, we don't know. He might have thrown one after the game.
No, they were already broken up.
On the sidelines.
Yes or no question is Stephon Diggs on the Patriots next year?
Yes.
No.
Is he under contract?
Juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Oh, he's not under contract.
Oh, no, I think he is.
He had a 3-year deal.
He's under contract to be back for sure.
I don't know. If Vrabel's serious, he's like that. We're not having that shit off you.
Yeah.
What did he do?
Was a distraction the entire game, starting fights on the sideline. Got his first big catch in the last quarter and spun the ball in everyone's face when you were down, and then pissed off on his team the second the game ended to go and lay the wood on some shit.
Pissing off on the team's not great.
That's what I mean. That's like a Vrabel guy. If Vrabel's the guy I think he is, which I believe he is, I think there'll be a stern conversation if Stephon Diggs is back on the team this year. If Diggs says all the right things, which let's be honest, he doesn't know what in the past, he also might be in prison next year because he beat the shit out of his cook. So let's wait. And so could Barmore. They were lucky that the NFL was so kind to let them, wait for the legal proceedings after the season.
Yeah.
Which is, and I'm not shitting on the play for that. That's the NFL. They need to do better at that stuff because you think they don't give a crap? They don't give a crap. Yeah, 100%. And then Anthony Bradford will block the wrong. He did block the wrong way, but he didn't kill Darnold. Milton Williams almost did on it, but he didn't do it personally, so I was wrong. Any more time?
Yeah. Just last one that's a bit of fun. The Gatorade. I'm going to shout at George because he said green. Green Gatorade doesn't exist, and it was yellow. So why not?
Yeah, that's good.
I'll give you that one.
Green Gatorade, isn't there grape Gatorade? It's great. That's an Australian special.
That's purple.
Grape's purple, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll just research it.
I think they had like a kiwi, which was green, but
that's what I'm thinking of. Was it like the Australian special or something? The Olympics one? Was that green? I can't remember.
And for all NFL fans out there, if you put your eyes on the screen now, these are what you've got to look forward to. We are 213 days away from the next season starting. Combines in 14 days. drafts in 73 days. They're all.
Oh, let's go.
No, the big one's free agency in 28 days. There's some big decisions to be made over the next few weeks.
Yeah, is Pickens going somewhere or is Pickens staying?
Apparently, they're going to tag him. That's the rumor. They're going to tag Pickens. I think we should definitely.
We'll do a breakdown.
Yeah, we'll have to do a bit of a fragment watch on the next podcast.
Yeah.
But I think that brings us to the end of our Super Bowl recap. What a season, boys! What a season! And I just want to start or want to end the season by saying to all three of you, thank you for everything. I love doing this podcast. I look forward to it whether it's 2 times a week or 1 time a week. It's one of the best parts of my life. I love talking football with you boys before the show, after the show, during the show. There's nothing better than to have my cousin doing the show with me, who I've loved for my entire life, and 2 of my best mates that I get to talk football with a couple of times minimum a week. So I want to thank you guys for everything you do. We all put in such an amount of work into this, and I want to thank everyone who tunes in, everyone who comments, even all the Patriots fans. I want to thank all of you guys because the bottom line is we are just 4 blokes that absolutely love football and want to talk about it all the time. And the fact that people want to listen to it means the world to us, and we'll continue to.
Amen to that.
So I want to thank you guys for everything. It's been.
We're not going anywhere. We're grinding all off season. That's where we do our best work. So
yeah, we're the Bill Belichick podcast. No days off.
I thought you were going to talk about Jordan.
No, we're way smarter with our fingers.
I want to hear Jordan again.
It's Jordan. Her name is Jordan. Can we just address it now in the live?
It's a proper pronunciation, okay?
I think it's enunciation. No. And shout out to Tommy again. The work you do on the 1s and 2s, man. It's been such an amazing addition to the podcast this year. Thoroughly enjoyed it. The amount of pressure you take off me and your ability to actually understand how all this stuff works, set it all up for us. It's really propelled the show to another level. So very much appreciate it. Shout out to the Sporting Globe Chermside Park for their sponsorship this year. Like they don't need to do this. They've got plenty of bigger fish that they can sponsor. But we've built such a great relationship with Dave and Eloise down there. So we appreciate your supporting us, and we know that as a community and as a podcast, we've given back so much to you guys, and we're so thankful that you jumped on board with us this year. I think it's the 3rd year straight now, so very appreciative of it. And make sure to follow us on all our socials. Tune in for the off season. As I said, we're not stopping. There'll be plenty more to come. Anything with you boys before we get out of here?
No, pretty good year. I'm pretty happy with it.
I think it's got your teeth.
Congrats to Seattle for winning the world's most boring fucking Super Bowl. Congrats.
It was dominant.
You're such a sour.
Why do you hate Seattle? Let's address it now.
No, I don't hate Seattle.
You do?
No, I don't. I don't hate Seattle at all. The only team I hate is the Chiefs.
You know what?
I'm on record.
It's the only thing you're consistent with, so I mean,